Hello all, welcome to Photogroup. In this session, we will learn how we can edit wooden interior images from scratch to final stepwise. Let's start with it. First of all, we will open today's folder into this raw images. Now we can see a couple of images which are from the same property. This is swimming area in which we can see wooden ceiling. It is adding luxury and premiumness to this image. Swimming pool color is being reflected on the ceiling wall, which needs to be corrected. A good editing can add a premiumness feature to it. The blacks shadows need to be maintained so to add depth into this picture. The external view is looking pretty faded, which need to be corrected. This image completely have wooden work with large glasses. The window should have a nice and a calmer color added to it when that part has been edited. We can see slight magenta color onto the floor in which we have to add slight warmth with tintless to match it with wood color. Again, the external should have calmer and crisp look added to it. Over brightness or over black addition will hide or blow the wood details. The next image is another room from the same property. This room is inside and it have a yellow lighting which is making rest part looks too yellow. In this image, it is pretty hard to understand the right color of the carpet and floor. To see the right color of it, we can see the darker image. Colors need to be controlled in a way to get right colors on each and every object. A good sharpness need to be applied onto the wood, especially to get a sharp and crisp look on it. Same with this image. So exactly same thing need to be done which we are going to apply on this image. So the thing which we have discussed in our second image, which is this one, same thing need to be applied onto this image because it is of that part. This is bedroom shot. This is bedroom shot, and we can see some woodwork has been done on the floor as well as on the wall behind the bed. The wood color need to be matched as per other images to maintain consistency. Some areas are losing details and that can be taken back from the darker shot. Rest is looking fine. Before starting with editing, let's look at our style guide folder into which I have already imported one image from our style guide reference library. This image is the same theme image which we are going to apply onto our today's folder. This room has complete wooden work onto it. The brightness and color looks pretty good. We can clearly see the details in each and every corners of this image. There is no sign of light bleed in the image. Contrast look good. The sharpness is pretty nice in this image. We can see the detail with the help of the sharpness applied onto it. The three-dimensional perspective looks pretty nice in this image, and the overall warmth in this image is making this image looks pretty calmer. So we have discussed all the issues in the images and we have seen our style guide image too. Now it's time to start our today's editing. So to start with the process of editing now, we are going to, so to start our process of editing now, we have to perform our first step. To import images to the Lightroom, we have to open our today's folder and then raw image folder. If you are going to edit whole images, then we have to press Ctrl A to select all images. But for now, I'm editing only this image, so I'll manually select it. To import it, We're going to click and drag and then press Alt tab to go to Lightroom and then drop onto it and then press import. We can also do drag and drop onto the Lightroom icon, but that thing doesn't work in Windows 11. That thing only works in Windows 10 and below that version. Step 2, stacking. To stack the image, we have to click any of the image, right click on it, go to stacking and auto stack by capture time. We have to put 2 seconds with the help of slider, and then it will detect how many stacks are there. Let's say if we have 2 more images, other shot, then it could have detected 2 stack. But for now I have 1, so it is detecting 1 stack. Now stack it. You can see that both the images got collapsed and we can see number 2 on the photo. If it is of 3 exposure image, then it would have seen 3 and 4 like that. Step 3, HDR merge. To make the HDR of these images, we have to right click on it, go to photo merge and HDR. We have to press auto setting and auto align check on, because we want the software to perform auto alignment while making HDR, and then auto settings mean it is going to apply auto tonal adjustment to it. But always remember that degauss amount is supposed to be none for internals, and for external it's supposed to be low, medium and high accordingly, because in external usually we see movements of cars from point A to point B, movements of peoples down the street. So in that case, if we merge it without using low, medium, high, then it could make ghost images. To avoid that, we have to use it low, medium, high accordingly. Now after doing these things, we have to press merge to make the HDR. So this is our HDR image with .dng format. Now in this image, we can see that slight blue is reflected onto the ceiling, which need to be sorted with the help of color correction. We can see that we are getting less detail. There is some detail loss over here. We have to use the highlight to get it sorted. Over here also we see some detail loss. We see slight darkness every corner. There is a huge black near the plant. We can see color aberration, this chromatic aberration, that all need to be removed. And we can also see slight noise onto the wooden, but the wall have too much of noise that need to be resolved. Step 4, lens correction. To do the lens correction, we have to go to develop module, then we have to scroll down and go to lens correction panel. Over here we can see profile. Under that we have to check on remove chromatic aberration and enable profile correction. Enable profile correction will add up brightness to the corners. It will actually remove vignetting from the corners, and this thing is going to remove chromatic aberration 60 or 70%. Not 100% it will remove, but see, you can see that it is not removing this thing. So this thing doesn't work 100%. You can say 60 or 70% it will remove things. Rest we can do manually. So we have to scroll down, then we have to click on constraint crop, so we don't see the white ends, and then press auto. Sometimes auto doesn't give us a good alignment. Here you can see that I press the auto and it have distorted the verticals a lot. But that is our first priority, to see the auto, because sometimes it gives a good result. But for now it is not giving, so I am just pressing Ctrl Z to undo the changes, and from here I will do manual correction. So this is vertical, I am using vertical, and I am using left side. I am moving it to the negative side for the vertical alignment here. So here you have seen that some area I was losing and it was going white, and that is like cropped off because of the constraint crop. Let's move on to our next step. Step 5, tonal adjustment. To do the tonal adjustment, we have to go up to the basic panel. First of all, here we have to make vibrance 0, and if saturation is in positive, we have to again make it 0. Now we have to play with exposure, contrast, highlight, shadow, whites and blacks to maintain the tonal adjustment into this image. Here you can see already some settings have been applied, because at the time we are when we are making the HDR, we have checked on to the auto tone, and that have given this auto thing. So now we are going to manually correct it. So here we can see too much of shadow removal. We will bring it to negative, increase blacks, highlights down, exposure down a little bit, and blacks up slight more, blacks up a little bit more, exposure down, and press the Y button to see before and after window, in which you can see what your image is in before and what it's and what it looks like after. So here you can see that we have brought up the detail loss which was there in the HDR, and we have successfully brought up the area, which looks good. To close the before after window, we have to again press Y. So while doing these adjustments, we also apply brush and masking in order to balance overall lighting. So we can take here, click on the masking, take the brush, and from here increase exposure, light black maybe. So here now I'm going to apply it, but always remember that your flow is supposed to be 40 and density 100, feather 100. Feather 100 you will put, it is not going to make brush look pretty hard, and flow, if you increase it more, it is going to give some patches to it. So now we will apply it light where we think it is too much. Always remember to click on done to complete the tool. So done. So it is looking pretty nice now. Let's again activate the before and after window by pressing Y. Okay, this looks good. We have removed excess blacks from here, but I think I have removed too much of blacks from here, so I'm going to decrease the shadows. Yeah, looks good. Perfect. But always remember that casting is supposed to be taken from the white area, which is this one, is the white. So you can see the live result over here when I move on the picker tool. So let's click on the white area. So now here you can see that it have given too much of yellow here, and that can be adjusted manually from here. Like we can decrease a bit of temperature, slight tint maybe, and slight more. Yeah, this is perfect. You can see over here. There's one more thing which we can done is overall reduction of vibrance. So I'm reducing -4 overall, which is going to suppress extra intense color from this image. Step 7, final touch-ups. So here we can see the blue reflection of the pool. Bit of color need to be added over here. So let's do it. For this we can take the masking, add brush, this time increase a bit of temperature, and let's brush on the area where we see lots of blues. So guys, you can see that while applying the brush, we see slight greenness over here, and this can be suppressed with the help of tint. So slight increase of tint and a bit of temperature more. That's all. Press done. Again take the plus brush and this much of temperature. Now let's apply it here. Press done to complete the tool. Now our image looks pretty good. Okay, looks good. Now we have color added to the external. Step 8, maintaining consistency with same images. So here we have some edited images onto the edited folder. Here is this here is the same flat images. Here we can see the wooden area, that what the colors are looking like. Okay, let's check ours. Okay, looking perfect for us for now. There are some issues which can be fixed in Photoshop, like removing excess yellowness from here, removing noise, adding sharpness, slight darkening of this thing, and that all need to be done in Photoshop. Step 9, export with right settings. To export this image, we have to right click on it, go to export and export. We have to export it with right settings, which is quality 100% and resolution 300. Export. So here is our exported image. Step 10, importing in Photoshop. To import in Photoshop, we have to again drag the image, press Alt tab to go to Photoshop and drop it. So here we see too much of noise onto the walls. Slight darkening can be done over here. This image looks pretty soft. Sharpness need to be added to make it look more clear enough. Slight warmth can be reduced from this area. So that all need to be done. Step 11, adjustment like brightness control, light beat adjustment, white balance, color balance, noise reduction, sharpness. So all need to be done. Let's do the brightness first. First we have to darken this one. So I'm going to the adjustment layer and from here selecting curves, dropping down the curve, close, Control I to invert, take the brush with opacity 12, white as foreground, and now brush it. Okay. Control E to merge down, or right click on it, merge down. Light bleed adjustment. We can't see the light bleed over here, so let's move on to the next one. White balance. So white balance has already been done in the Lightroom, which was pretty good. Here we don't have to do the white balance. Let's move on to the color balance. To do the color balance, we have to create a duplicate of the layer. Go to filter, camera or filter, and from here you have to go to the basic panel. From here, decrease the temperature and decrease the tint. because tint is going to remove too much of redness, and temperature is going to remove too much of yellowness, the warmth. That's okay. Create the mask, Control I to invert. Take the brush with foreground white and brush onto it to remove the excess colors. Right click, merge down. Again take the duplicate of the layer. Go to filter, camera filter. Slight warmth with slight tint. That's okay. Create mask, Control I to invert. Take the brush and apply. Control E to merge. Noise reduction. To do the noise reduction, we again have to take the copy of the layer. Go to filter, camera filter. Go to details. Increase the noise reduction. Press OK. Create the mask. Control I to invert. Take the brush with opacity 12. Zoom in and apply it wherever it is required. Right click, merge down, sharpness. To apply the sharpness, we have to again take the copy of the layer. Go to filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. Value is supposed to be 170 amount, radius 1, threshold 0. Press OK. Slightly zoom in to see the effect. If I switch on and off, you can see that it is getting sharpened. If there is a need to apply it overall, you can leave it as it is. If you have to apply it selectively on some areas, then you can create the mask and do it. But for now, I'm just leaving it overall. Right click on it, merge down. Now we are going to check the item removal, which is step 12. So I think there is no item removal for now, but still, like, these leaves, fallen leaves, can be removed. So to effectively and speedily remove it, we can go and pick the spot healing brush tool. By this we can do it pretty fast. So here we just have to simply click and drag onto the area, and that is going to automatically pick the sampling area and going to apply the right thing on it. So that is done. Now we are going to move on to the alignment. To do the alignment, we have to take the copy of the layer. You can press Ctrl J to take the copy of the layer, or simply drag and drop it over here. Press Ctrl T to activate the transform tool, and Control inverted comma for the grids. And here we can see that slightly horizontal is disbalanced over here. So what we can do, right click on it, go to skew. From right side, I'm going to move this thing little down and keep on checking the horizontals to avoid any distortion. And from here, a little bit up, again slide down, maybe. Okay, let's check the verticals from left side. I think it is great. Free transform, slightly transform the image from all four corners and then press Ctrl and then hit enter to close the tool. If you switch on and off, you can see the right alignment over here. Again, Ctrl E to merge the layer or right click, merge down. Step 13, self QA. To do the self QA, we are going to open our folder in which we have edited some image from the same property earlier. If you look at the wooden area here and here, I think it is looking perfect. The right colors on it, looks rich and looking very luxury. So let's move on to the next step, which is resizing. So step 14, resize. To resize the image, we have to go to the image size, switch on the constraint crop on and write 2500 by 1667. If this thing goes 1 pixel up down, you can simply close it and manually put the value. Press OK after that. So this is supposed to be a quality and this is what we send to our client. I hope this video has given some knowledge about how you can do editing on interior image which have too much of wooden work into it. So till then, goodbye. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.